Good morning. Um, Very impressive win last week against a divisional opponent. The one thing about this league, you don't have time to sit around and pat yourself on the back. We have another tough game this week against the 49ers. Extremely good offense. They run the ball well, play action, pass the ball down the field. Again, it's going to be another tough one. And with that, I take your questions.
How much do you game plan for a tight end like Kittle?
Well, I'll tell you, in my opinion, I think he's probably one of the best in the league. He does so much from a standpoint. They put him out in the slot. They put him out at number one. Very athletic. Does a great job. What I call yak after the catch. You know, he does a tremendous job for us, just making guys miss out in space, can take the top off. So it's very difficult because once again, he opposed the element just like a receiver once you put him out in space.
What do you see from Jimmy G this season? How is he coming back from that torn ACL?
I think he's performing well, can make every throw. He's putting the guys in position. Well, the one thing I say that he doesn't force things in there. He's real smart with the ball, knows exactly when to check it down, when to force it down the field. So I think he's playing well right now.
With that wide zone that Kyle runs, how important are your ends to kind of stopping that run and then being able to go get the passer when they decide to run or throw off of it?
They're all about trying to create edges on the defense, so it's extremely important that we do a great job of, penetrating up front, trying to set the edge, do a great job on the perimeter, coming up trying to support the football.
Is it a lot different preparing for that style than a team that doesn't do it as much as he does?
Because again, teams are always trying to, at some point in time, trying to get to the edge. We saw a couple of weeks ago the same thing with the Rams. So it's just an element of what we teach, and everything we do starts up front. We got to have a great game up front this week. That's going to be the key.
Their left tackle is starting only his second game, and he's a rookie, Justin School. Is that a matchup you guys are eager to try to exploit?
I tell you what, when you look at what they're doing, and I know this is only his second start, but I think they've only given up maybe 2 sacks, I believe, all year. So they're doing a great job of protecting the quarterback. Garoppolo does a great job of getting the ball out quick, as I said, and understanding that he can't hold on to it. So we got to take advantage of all matchups across the board and try to find different ways to get to the quarterback. Most important, as we talked about before with Kittle, trying to find ways to stop him as well. I love the running backs. When you look at what they have back there, it's just, by committee. So they don't miss a beat when they rotate those guys in and out.
Your defense, even going back to joint practices, has been pretty good at stringing out those stretches and those outside zones, though. What about them makes them successful at that? And is that kind of an advantage going into this game?
Well, I think number one is just the mere fact of how they established the run game, and then everything off the play action game, it looks exactly like the run. So I think Cal does a tremendous job in just how he sets things up and how he schemes. So this is going to be a great game for us from a standpoint of eye discipline, making sure our eyes are in the right spot, because you will get a lot of what I call window dressing with a whole lot of motion, trying to really take your eyes off your main focus and your target.
Steve, how does a fullback Kyle Juszczyk show up?
Well, they would get in 21 personnel, and they'll move him out in the slot, and he'll be out there like Kittle. Again, can stretch the field vertical. He does a great job on what I call the wheel routes. That's one of his staples. And he's tremendous in the backfield from a standpoint of blocking and catching the ball coming out of the backfield. So they have weapons across the board. We haven't even talked about Goodwin, going vertical, taking the top off, and Pettis. It's going to be a task, as I said before, across the board, just trying to slow this offense down.
I know we talked about it before in here, but Jermaine Whitehead, when he has a game like he did against Baltimore, involved in all 3 interceptions or all 3 takeaways, how much does that kind of give you satisfaction that he's having this kind of start to the year?
Satisfaction it gives me, but I'm not surprised. I think we can go back to the spring, and I told you guys how I felt about him, and just his impact on this defense. You know, sometimes it may not stand out from a standpoint of the splash plays. It did this past week, but Jermaine is extremely smart. He does a great job. He's like Joe out there, just really regulating the back end, getting everybody lined up, communicating, and he finds himself in position to make plays as he did last week. So I'm excited that he's out there. Very happy with his performance last week, and is well deserving.
You guys have said that Devereaux Lawrence kind of brings a certain energy to that room and kind of that defense. Do you see that?
That's what they call it, energy. Devereaux, he does bring energy a lot. Performed well throughout training camp, made a lot of production plays, you know, tackle for lost sacks. And he's still growing. He's still coming into his own. But I like the mere fact how we rotate up front, and, you know, a lot of confidence in those guys, as well as Daniel when they come in, that we're not going to miss a beat.
How remarkable really is it that you guys spent one game without your whole starting defensive backfield, and the second game with 3 of 4 of those guys out, and you almost really didn't miss too much of a beat in your defensive backfield?
Well, I think it's a lot of trust in the individuals who are out there, number one. I think the guys truly believe in the system and what we're doing. I think it was a great job by the coaches, you know, getting these guys prepared and ready to play. Excuse me, but when you look at TJ, you look at, you know, Terrence Mitchell, again, I talked about how those guys have played a lot in this league before, so I really wasn't surprised how they're performing and how they're playing right now.